Okay, this morning's topic is the catalog, PDW, and creating new non-stock products. So this is where we're trying to find a product to enter on a sales order, and I'll hop into Eclipse in a moment and show you what I mean. But when you're in a sales order and you're doing a search on a product by the model number, Johnstone part number, part of the description, whatever, Eclipse is searching what's called the primary index. I sometimes just call it the active product file. But then I think, as most of you know, behind that, or in addition to that, we also have products that are in catalog, and then there are also products in PDW. PDW stands for Product Data Warehouse. And as I'll show in 2 or 3 minutes, PDW, we're continuing to add more and more products there. I think there's hundreds of thousands. So these are products that are kind of in an archive that you have to search for them a certain way to access them, but then they're full products with descriptions and pricing and everything. So let me hop into Eclipse here. Okay. So as I said, you're in a sales order and you do your search. Say I'm searching by description on this one. So when Eclipse presents you with these choices, these are our active products, and of course it's showing you your quantities, and S indicates stock, and if you scroll down you'll see some that are in for non-stock. So if you find your product here, then of course you click on it and move on with life. If you don't find your product, then your next move is to click Catalog Index up here. So catalog, these are usually inactive products. May or may not be discontinued, just low activity. These are fine. These are fine to use. So again, if I find my product here, I click it, it puts it on the order, and I move on. If I don't find my product here, and I feel like I put in a pretty good description on what I want, then you can click PDW, Catalog Index. This is where it's accessing, depending on the product, it could bring up dozens more choices. So these are products that that you can choose from. And when you choose one of these, just click on it. It brings it into the active product file. It's not all you have to do is click on it, but what Eclipse is doing actually is it's pulling that product and information from another database into active Eclipse. So that's pretty much it. I've pulled in the product that I want to use, and then I move on with the sales order. Okay. So let me go back to my slide for a moment. So we started our normal product search. We didn't find our product. So we clicked on catalog, didn't find it there. Then we went to PDW. Our last move, if we go through those motions and still don't find our product, then we need to create the new product in Eclipse. Okay, before I show you that, just a couple of notes. Once you select that PDW product, as I showed you, Eclipse pulls that in from the database into the active product file, and now that product exists for you or anyone else to use again. this is a note that Dawn and Tom gave me. Check the cost. If it's not a Johnstone product, be sure to use the price with the adder. Dawn told me, make the point this includes Nuco. If there is no adder, multiply the cost by 1.014. So I guess if it doesn't have a Johnstone part number, just be cautious and probably go to the vendor site or JXI to double check the pricing. Okay, so like I said, if you go through all of that and you still don't find your product, then you need to create a new one. So let's go back to Eclipse. All right, to create a new product, some of you might have it on your toolbar. If you don't, or either way, you can right click and then choose Nonstock. And I came prepared with an example. So let's say I've already searched, this thing just doesn't exist. So now I go into Nonstock. I put in a good description. You should always have the model number, unless for some reason there isn't one, but model number, good description, and then who the vendor is. In this window, just leave the price line and buy line as Nonstock. Tom Nielsen gets a report overnight that shows all the new products that have been created, and then he goes through and puts them in the correct price line and buy line. So really, just give us a good description, and then the list price. I'm going to make it up, $112, and then the cost. We use the same cost for both of these, for standard cost and vendor cost. That's pretty much it. So when you close out of this, you've created a new product. Let's see. Right, so just to review, you've done a good search, you didn't find your product. So then in your sales order, on a new line, you right click, choose Nonstock, give us a good description, including the part number and the vendor. You can use as many lines as you need to. Leave the price line and buy line as Nonstock. Oh, if for some reason there is no list price, then the rule of thumb is to take our cost and multiply it by 3. That's pretty much all I have. So I'm going to unmute everybody. Hold on a moment. Yep. Thought I could do that in one fell swoop. Hold on. Okay. I think you have to unmute yourselves. Sorry about that.
Just have to click OK. It said to allow you to unmute me.
Oh, okay. Any questions or comments or anything that might be helpful for the group as far as searching for products? I guess I didn't really go into too much in the different ways to search for products, but the idea, we could talk about a few of those briefly, but the idea is, do a good search on a product before you create one, because once you create the product, if you didn't do a good search, you might be creating a duplicate product, which just causes more work on the back end. So I guess my best practice is obviously, if you have the Johnstone part number, go with that. If not, model number. And if you really don't have a model number and need to search by description, put in at least like 3 pieces of information. So in my fan blade example, I think I did like the length. I put like a 3, that is 3 fan blades. I could have put in the pitch, but you guys know your products. Each product, typically there's 3 or 4 kind of descriptors, pieces of information. Like I wouldn't ever just type fan blade, be a little bit more specific.
Hey, Matt,
Go ahead.
you said that Tom is reviewing those. Is he able to edit them? Is that something that he's actively doing once somebody does create a part?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've actually seen him bringing up the report.
Okay, so that helps a lot. Now, one thing I just want to, I don't know what the new habits are versus what some of the old habits were. Like, for example, your parts, we ask people to leave the caps lock on when you're creating a part.
Yeah.
That's one thing to please make sure we note for clips. Ooh. So yeah, we want to do it in all caps. And for a description, 2 things. Number 1, reference something similar for you to get an idea of what the description could look like if you're not familiar and you're new to creating parts. Use something similar as an example for what it should look like as you're filling this out. That's a helpful part. And then, like Matt said, it's very important that we really double check the spelling. I know we've all seen some little things in Eclipse or here and there that we've created that have misspelled words or they're abbreviated, and that's not friendly with Eclipse. So we have to make sure that we double check that, and with that, making sure that it's not already a part. That really is very important. It can really affect a lot of things, like triggering the orders and having Eclipse work the way that it needs to work. So, but great job. And then I have an aside question. These classes that you've been doing, where can we find them?
So, Catherine took leave for a little bit. Right before she went out, she said she was going to work on an email to kind of introduce that. They're on the company YouTube. So, John, I'll follow up with her. But we have, I didn't realize this, but we have our own YouTube channel. So, as I've been doing these videos and recording them, I hand them off to Rachel, and she dresses them up a little bit and then puts them on that YouTube channel. So I'll ask Catherine. I mean, I could send out something next week, but you're right. Yeah. Now I've got at least, I don't know, this is the 4th or 5th one. So
yeah, so we could make that a part of closing. Tell people where to go find it.
Yeah. And then to your point, you made an excellent point, which I kind of did this without saying it, but right, when you need to create a new product, it's useful to have a similar product. But that's actually why I left the first one on my order. So then if it's really just the second product that I created that I needed, then, just zero off the one that I used as kind of a template. So,
yeah. Thank you. Terrific.
Okay.
I was just going to say, from my experience, when you're creating a Nonstock, if you find the product, say on like Nuco, I just copy and paste their description because that's going to have pretty much everything you need that's going to help identify. Just kind of short and to the point.
Okay. All right. Like I said, this one pretty short and to the point. I think sometimes people forget maybe to search the catalog. I tend to forget about the catalog, but sometimes you find your products there without having to go to the PDW. Okay. Anyone else? Oh wait, there's something in the chat. Hold on. Oh, just a thank you. Okay. Okay, folks. Thanks for taking the time out of your day for these. I'm going to continue the series, like I said, probably indefinitely. and I'll look to get something out next week with a link and a little explanation of where these are on YouTube.